My 8-year-old daughter was left at the airport by my parents. While they boarded first class, I still remember the moment my phone rang, the way the sound sliced through the hum of the Paris airport, the way time seemed to stop before I answered. It was the airline calling. My parents had boarded their first-class flight to Nice, but my 8-year-old daughter, Clara, was still sitting at the gate alone. At first, I didn't understand. I thought it had to be a mistake. My parents adored Clara. They doted on her like she was the center of their world. They were supposed to take her for the weekend, a simple trip to visit my aunt, something they'd planned for months. But now she was sitting in an airport lounge, clutching her backpack, while the people who were supposed to protect her were sipping champagne 30,000 feet in the air. I arrived at the airport 20 minutes later. I spotted her before she saw me, small, quiet, her knees pulled up to her chest, the stuffed rabbit I'd packed for her cradled in her arms. She wasn't crying. That somehow hurt even more. When she finally looked up and saw me, the relief that flashed across her face broke something inside me. I knelt beside her, feeling both furious and guilty. Furious that my parents had done this, guilty that I'd trusted them enough to let her go. The staff explained that boarding had closed before they noticed Clara wasn't with them. My parents had assumed she'd followed. They didn't realize she was missing until the plane was in the air. I tried to imagine that moment, the shock, the confusion, but all I could picture was my daughter sitting alone while strangers rushed past, her small world tilting out of control. That night, after we got home, I tucked her into bed and sat in the dark beside her. She fell asleep quickly, her breathing soft and steady. But I couldn't stop replaying it, the call, the sight of her alone, the polite apologies from the airline. My parents called over and over, leaving messages full of regret and disbelief. I didn't answer. In the morning, I packed away her little suitcase, still filled with the clothes I'd folded the night before. It felt symbolic somehow, the trip that never happened, the trust that had quietly unraveled. Days later, when my parents returned, I met them at a cafe near the Seine. The autumn light shimmered on the water, and the air smelled faintly of roasted chestnuts. They looked older, somehow shaken, humbled. We didn't argue. We didn't need to. Some moments speak louder than anger ever could. As I walked home through the narrow Paris streets, I held Clara's hand tightly. The city moved around us, voices, traffic, laughter, but all I could hear was her quiet heartbeat next to mine. In that rhythm, I found a kind of peace. Some bonds, once broken, can be mended, but they are never quite the same. And maybe that's the lesson Paris left me that day. Love is fragile, trust even more so, and sometimes the smallest heartbreaks leave the deepest marks.